make homemade tortillas de harina. 6 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 cup of shortening, and 2 cups and a fourth of extremely hot water. We're going to start off with a big bowl, and I'm going to make enough for about a meal or two, depends how much your family eats. Mine eats a lot, so I have to make about 6 cups worth, which is about 24 to 30 tortillas. To make 24 to 30, I use flour, just regular flour. Don't go all out. Regular is good. 6 cups. You're supposed to like tap it, round it off. That's too much work. Just count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To about 6 cups, you're going to use salt and baking powder. There's not a particular one. You know, I go back and forth with the salts and the baking powder. If you have a favorite, that's fine. I don't. So we're going to do a tablespoon of each. So this is half. So I do 1 and 1 of salt. That's 1. 1 and 1. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alrighty. So what you do, make sure you have your hands clean, cootie free. You get in there and you're going to mix it around. To 6 cups, we're going to put some shortening. Now, it's about a cup of shortening. I use my hand. It's about a cup right there. About right there. Let's see if I'm right. It was a cup. Alrighty. I use my hand, 1 hand to 6 cup of flour. And then you make sure that you whisk that around real good. Once you get all that in there, mix pretty good. Doesn't take a couple of minutes. You can see it already how it's crumbling. Alrighty. Once this is done, this mixture is crumbly. You're going to put 2 cups of very hot water. And that right there is one of the mistakes a lot of people do. They want to use, you know, just, I don't know, like a little bit warm water. It's not going to happen. You want soft tortillas, you have to use extremely hot water. You're not going to actually... So this is going to be 2 cups of extremely hot water. This one right here, you see how it's already getting all together? A minute of this, getting all that dough together, then you can put your hands in there. If it's still too hot for you, you can mix it with a fork a little bit longer. If not, you can already start mixing. Now, what you're doing is getting all of this loose flour, and you're making sure you blend it in with your little dough that's already forming. Now, one of the tricks here for very good flour tortillas is you really have to work the dough. So don't try to like mix it, okay, it's done. No, it's not going to happen. You really got to work it, which means you're going to keep on kneading. Once it's already, you can see, it's already formed a ball. Nice one. Keep on doing it for about 2-3 minutes. Now, you can see I've worked this. It's very nice. A nice little ball. Okay? Now, once this is done, what you're going to do is you're going to let the dough rest. That's another secret. Ziploc bag, you can use, I don't know, Walmart bags, whatever you want. In a plastic bag, it'll help. Get your dough, Stick it in here. Take your out. You're going to zip it up. Or just wind it. It's just a regular plastic bag. Make sure it's clean. You put your dough and you're going to let it rest. I let it rest for about 15-20 minutes inside of a bag. I wasn't standing here the whole time. Use your time wisely. Cut up some potatoes. Do something else while you're waiting. That way you can get more accomplished. Alrighty. So what we do, it's nice and warm. Like I said, this is going to give you about 24 to 30 tortillas depending on how big you roll them out. You might want to roll them out little or, you know, bigger. It depends on you. I put a little bit of flour on it on both sides. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make, usually for us, for a meal, and there's 6 of us, it's about 2 for each one. I only eat 1. So what I do is I cut it in half and I save the next for the next meal. Tacos or for whatever else I want. This will give you around 12, 13, around there. Now, this is the dough right here. You can see the consistency, really nice. What you do, what I do, I roll it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I grab these testales. And I make little dough pillows. See? Oh, how cute. And then I just roll them out. See? About as big as my palm. So you're going to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to eat them. I grab it, I squeeze, make a little bit around. I roll them out with my palms. I turn it over, and you see that side right there that has that little dent? That's the one that I push in. And I just give it a little twirl around to push all these little markings in. Leave it nice and smooth. As you can see, half of that dough gave me a dozen tortillas. They're not all perfectly round, and it's okay. You're going to eat them. So it's alright to be a little bit off. The point is for them to be delicious. Alrighty, so what I do is in my bowl where I rolled all this dough out where I needed it, I go ahead and get a little bit of flour in my fingers, put it inside your bowl, whisk it around. There's a reason. Take off the excess. You're going to place these in here. You don't want the bottoms to stick and get all weird looking. That way they won't stick. You put them in there. These are little just tips. After so many times of messing tortillas up, you learn as you go along. Alrighty. And then I put a little bit of dough on top so it doesn't dry out while I'm rolling out. Now, believe it or not, this is my rolling pin. I keep flour right by my board. I already have this going. So what you're doing is, while this is getting hot, I put my tortillas in the flour, give them a little roll around, bring it back to my board, and make sure it's floured so it's easier to roll out. I go ahead and just give it another little twirl around. Then I start rolling out. Now, this is like riding a bike. They're not going to come out perfect the first time. You got to practice. Okay? It's easier if you feel it too dry or if it's coming up, grab a little bit of flour in your fingers, throw it on there, give it a twirl, and then roll out. Little at a time. They don't have to be perfectly round. As I said, you're going to eat them. Once you have them done, and this is hot, it's been going on for a while, so it's good right there. We bring this over here. You have to look at your tortilla to know when it's going to cook. As you see, I wait for it to bubble a little bit. As soon as it bubbles, I grab it, and then I just turn it over. Now, usually once it cooks a little bit, I'll pat it down, pat some of that air out, let it cook, turn it over. I'm gonna say it takes around 2 minutes, but really you gotta look at your tortillas so they're not undercooked or overcooked. And as you see, all of these little, it's cooking right there. And I usually turn them over around 4 to 5 times, just making sure that the tortilla is nice and cooked. Again, I'm gonna say it's around 2 minutes. Alrighty, when you see it like that, ready to go, that's it. There's your tortilla.
Y cántale bonito, Jennifer.